What's up, everyone? Welcome back to AncientBloodlineoflight. Hope you guys are doing well and fantastic. I want to thank more subscribers. Thank you. Welcome to the family. Got like over 411 subscribers, and I'm happy you're here. So, on this topic, I want to talk about my experience with shrooms almost 2 weeks ago on a Friday. I had purchased some from a friend of mine, and it was very surreal. Like, it was a really good experience. Where do I begin? Like, a lot of things that we already learned and already know, and we're just connected to the Akashic records and through the experience of enlightenment. I guess you could say that experience with shrooms was like a confirmation, even though I already know these things. And that's the word throughout this whole experience. That's the key word, I know. Because a lot of these informations are in Akashic records, whether you actually learned something or not in a past life you have, and depend on what direction you take in your life. Like, if you decide to learn a certain thing, you know that. So even if you didn't take that direction, in the Akashic records you have, because that other version of yourself, that parallel version of yourself, took that other direction and learned something that you didn't currently take. You pretty much you do know that. You have that experience. Like, if I were to purchase an ATV instead of a Lamborghini, I have that experience of riding an ATV and like do like in a forest or like somewhere like that, or on a dirt road or something, instead of that parallel version of me who bought a Lamborghini instead. But the version of me who bought the Lamborghini has that experience of the other version who has the ATV, that quad, and because everything's all connected to Akashic records, that energy is out there still. There's still that connection. And the same thing with all of us. Like, we're just different versions of the same being in different bodies and different frequencies and such. And throughout the experience, like, okay, so at first, after eating half of it, I was like, nothing's happening. I texted my brother and I told him nothing's happening yet. So you're gonna feel it. Like 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, I started to feel a bit fuzzy. I was like, oh, here we go. Oh shit. I was nervous, I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. This is something I always wanted to do. The biggest thing I wanted to try is DMT and LSD. Better shit. Not gonna go down unless, but it was great. Then there was this point where around the beginning stage, it increases your serotonin. So I just started busting out laughing. I just felt good. Like, I felt it in my gut, my solar plexus chakra, and I just felt like I just need to laugh and just let loose and just enjoying life in that moment. And I feel like that's that gesture part of source, and I want to tell you more. So I don't know if there's gonna be like a part 2 of this video, or I could record further down in this. So I'll try that. A little bit more details about the gesture. Even though I didn't take DMT, I still experienced the gesture, but not in the full form like in DMT. So it's not like DMT at all. It's a different experience, but I'll explain more. So, and now I was thinking, like, everything's going through, like, I keep seeing the recycle symbol, because that's spirit telling me, like, all this that we're going through now, it already happened in different forms in past lives and years ago, thousands of years ago, etc., hundreds. And it's like, everything is just different energy. Like, everything's just same timelines, that are just different energies. Same things are happening, just different ways. It's like how someone creates, like, social media, for example. You have MySpace, then they're gonna create another social media it's just a different energy, different frequencies. So you got the MySpace realm, now you got the places.com realm, now you got the Snapchat realm, Twitter realm, Facebook realm. It's all the same, it's just different energies and different approaches. So it's like life. Everything's happening the same way, just differently, different energies, different approaches, whatever. So And then just spirit, just enjoy life, you know. And it's like, you know, it's just nothing to worry about. Forget about all the fears, whatever, because as you already know, it's all about the frequency. It's law of attraction. Just vibrate on the frequencies you want and just enjoy life. Feel joy right now. Feel happy right now. Feel wealthy right now. Feel healthy right now. Just fucking enjoy it. You know, regardless of the destruction, that the chaos that you see on the news and Twitter and this and that, you don't have to vibrate on that. That's your choice, your free will. So don't fucking worry about it. Just enjoy it. Life, like, God is whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. God is like that free spirited dude who wears the bathrobe and just chill. And God kept appearing like a child to me, because we're like, God, like you already know, just wants to experience life, just wants to experience the third dimensional, the third density, the third dimensional consciousness, and just, you know, want to go through the lessons. And you know, it's like, okay, so this stuff just keep happening and everything, and then we keep reincarnating and go through it again, etc. And I just busted out. I busted out crying. I cried like a bitch. I was like, I can't wait till all this is over. Then I just started crying, and it was like, damn, like, I don't want to reincarnate. I don't want to keep experiencing this, but it's like we're just constantly experiencing things from different perspectives, as in different bodies, different people, and whatever. And it also, I still have a little theory that Marbaz, the Guetta Damon, also caused this experience for me, because early in that day, I prayed to him, and I was like, I want to experience like more healing, more physical healing, and shadow work. So going through that experience with shrooms, it led to a lot of shadow work, actually, like a lot of shadow work, because I already understand that we all are, like, if there's something that you dislike about somebody, then that's something, that reflection that's within yourself that you don't like. So, one moment. Sorry about that. So anyways, so ever since then, that experience, if there's this that I dislike about someone, then I allow myself to be open and vulnerable to what is that about myself that I'm seeing that I don't like about myself, and then I allow myself to open my heart to love that aspect of myself. Then it allows me to be vulnerable and love that person. And that is a good exercise for the heart chakra. And, you know, please, if you just rewind this and then listen to that again, because this is something that we all need to understand. Because a lot of stuff that you read about, articles and blogs and vlogs, etc., about oneness and everything, it's not a bunch of new age bullshit. It's real stuff. Like, it's real shit. And so people are not talking out of their ass. And it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. You know, we're all in the same boat. So I let it out at the crying, and at the same time just place myself in acceptance, because source is like, no point of continuing to be sad about it, because you already experienced it many times. And obviously the people that you love in this life, obviously everyone's going to be gone, but they're going to be there in another life, in a different form, as you already know. But like I said, I don't want to reincarnate. I don't plan to, you know. I'm strong in that choice. But it is also important to forgive others, because obviously you don't want that karmic energy to affect you in this life, and possibly another one, or someone who's close to you. Excuse me. Because You know, like I said, you don't want that to affect you and stay on you. And there's things that people hold on to, like a lot of anger or stuff like that, that just like obviously can affect you physically, which is one of the reasons why some people have like illnesses, or like someone were born with one or developed one because someone or like their family or ancestors, etc., held on to that. So you don't want it to affect, you know, those down the line, any descendants. So forgive and forget, not just for like, oh, like I'm just gonna like bypass what happened to me, let it go. You're not just doing that for your inner peace, but also you're doing it for others, your descendants, etc. So it's let's see. So I kept seeing Source as a child because God just wants to play with life. He wants to enjoy life. Rather it's something negative or positive, there's lessons within it all, and there's that balance. So, and if you know, if you're worried about, okay, but people are dying, well, death isn't real. Like, may sound a little vulgar, and I'm not being like, you know, like I don't care. I understand, and I feel you on that. If that kind of accept you what I just said, but we're not the body. You know, we are the soul, the spirit. We are the soul, and we're just in vessels experience life. So we are fragments of God in different bodies. What I had said to my brother, where his action figures, God is like a child playing with their action figures, and like this is them, you know. Like we are God and we're playing along. It's like a play, a role, and I'm like, okay, so, and I started to see myself on a stage, like the different people in the crowd, each one was Source, as everybody are Source. And you know, Source up there with the little binocular dinghies, what are they called? Source right there with a masquerade mask, Source right there eating popcorn, and Source right here, me on the stage talking to someone else who's experienced life. This play, God is entertaining itself. So, and you can see the red drapes and everything, and I was talking, and then and it's very fascinating. It really is fascinating. And I started to see God as a jester, like, and I started laughing. I started, you know, randomly dancing and whatnot, because like I'm just enjoying it. I'm just all over the place. I expected that I would just be sitting there meditating and stuff. Every time I close my eyes, I would see a lot of colors, and it's very unique. Like a couple months ago, like my ex-girlfriend's daughter, I bought her a tiara for her birthday, and I was like, you know, like their bunk beds is still here and whatever. So I had laid down. I had fixed the mattress and I had laid down. And because it used to be my mom's room as well, and her daughter is an Aquarius, my mom's Aquarius, so, and my mom passed in that room, so I lay down, and don't want to like go into too much details, like, you know, make them uncomfortable or anything, but I lay down and I close my eyes, and then I could see the tiara in the outline, and the outline of it was like rainbow colors, like neon, just like glowing and forming as a tiara, and it's like, okay, that's funny, because like I was like laying in her bed, so they're not living here anymore. So if you're wondering, if you're like a little confused about these details, but it was very interesting, and it was beautiful, like just seeing different colors. Like only a few times, I guess, like once, from what I remember, with my eyes open, and I was walking around my apartment, and I could see like blue lights like around my altar, like Archangel Michael, like sparks. And then I was starting to see green, and then gold, and then that was it. And then I kind of feel like, if you look at the, you know, the brain scans which show ADHD, OCD, this and that, depression, and then you see the ADHD one, I kind of feel like that's equivalent to when you're taking shrooms, because you're moving around a lot. Like, I have ADHD, but even if someone who doesn't have it, I think the same thing will show up on the brain scans. You put your brain on shrooms and ADHD, it could be possible that the same thing could show up. Maybe I'll look into it. Somebody maybe look into it. You could tell me if you don't. You already know if you didn't had to. That's the key word. You already know. So I just have to tap into the Akashic records and then know, instead of jumping on Google. But yeah, it's a lot of things just come down to like Akashic records, and obviously you feel like, you know, you want to express this to the world and whatever, but obviously people are not going to completely understand because the ego self and the judging and whatever, and some people may feel a little uncomfortable. So I jumped on Facebook Live a little bit, but I deleted it because I don't want people to feel weird, even though there are like all about spirituality and whatnot, but they may not actually like get it. Like, you don't get it until you experience it yourself. So I had to experience this. I obviously went through like ego death and spirit enlightenment through vibrating high, obviously, and ego death like a few times, and experienced this kundalini. So people may like be into this, but if they haven't experienced any of that, then they'll still probably look at you all crazy and shit. But now with the shrooms, that was not an ego death, but you're working through your ego and doing a lot of shadow work, which is great. So I think that was like the best part about it, besides being entertained by how Source appears as a child and who wants to learn in this world. Like, Source is already learning, but it's like a child who just wants to play, and that's made me understand that quote in the Bible, like, you can't enter into heaven unless you're like a child, something like that. But that was like, okay, shit. So there it is. Like, you know, you have to enjoy life, you know, be like a child. And I noticed that whenever I just vibrating in love and surrendering my ego, that, you know, my eyes kind of like get a little bigger, not like dilating like people's, but like in general, like the whole thing was a little more bigger, and like I'm like a child, like I'm enjoying life, I'm playful, and I'm just like, and that's you're just experiencing yourself as God, and you're just in it, you know. And you know, you're in 5D, fifth dimensional consciousness, and it's incredible like that. And so Source will appear as a gesture to symbolize, don't take life so damn serious. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who do, but don't fucking take it serious. A lot of people will get mad at you just because you smile, you're happy, you're enjoying life, you're in public, maybe you're looking at your phone, you're laughing out loud, something like a meme or whatever, or someone sent you like a family member, or you're just happy to hear from somebody, and other people look at you like you're fucking crazy. Like, enjoy life, you know, like, don't be so stuck up, and learn how to be grateful. I mean, obviously people are going through certain things, and excuse me, and they just feel like they're alone and no one understands. So that's something that we also need to keep in mind, is, you know, regardless of ego death, we still have to be, we still have to be grounded and feel other people understand them. So so there still have to be mindfulness. Still have to be considerate. So I wouldn't really be like laughing out loud, crazy, plugging for other people, because, you know, I still would be considerate of, you know, maybe there's something personal that they're going through. If they cock an attitude, then, you know, I'll just try to understand, you know, that, you know, in their shoes, that maybe there's something personal. It's not you, but it's just them, and they're just projecting. But it's, you don't have to take it personal. So, but just enjoy life, and, you know, you don't have to be attached to anything, not in a bad way, because things come and go, you know, and it's not like you don't care, like, don't be attached. I don't give a shit. There's nothing wrong with not being attached. You know, we're gonna have attachment to something that we love, to people, obviously, but like, I guess you can understand the material things, but it may sound a little cliche, when, you know, you're in that spiritual path, but it doesn't have to be in that cliche hippie talk there. So, but it's just, it all comes down to understanding that, you know, like, we are infinite and we are connected to everything. So there's obviously no reason to envy someone for something they have when you are them. So just vibrate on that frequency, and you technically do have what they have. You see someone who's wealthy, and you have a little this and that in your account, you know, just be happy for them, be grateful for them, you know, still send blessings to the wealth, still pray to them, regardless of that they're so blessed, you know, let that good karmic energy come back to you. the experience is just very, very incredible, and you would wish that everybody would experience just like, you know, what I was experiencing in 5D. I was, you know, heaven on earth. I was wishing that people would experience that, but you just gotta like let it be, because everybody's on their own journey. And the way things are in this world, it's like, okay, everything's happening for a reason, so there's no point in trying to fight it and trying to get out of this matrix, because we're here for a reason, and God did create this purposely so we could experience this, so we could learn how to use our gifts. And because a lot of us forgot, but we just need to remember and just use it, and then vibrate so we can manifest what we want. So this is one big game, so play the game. This is literally like a fucking video game, so play it. You know, get what you want by vibrating on that, while selling your soul, speaking metaphorically, and then like hurting others or something, and you know, drop your dignity and integrity for something. I was also getting that like demons are outside of Source's universal design, its plan, but Source still have control over them, because regardless that they may affect us, we still get lessons from them. Because say like, you know, I have a neighbor who's constantly cursing and so there's, you feel and see the demons like attached to her aura. But my brother was like, you know, but like, you know, by that making you frustrated and whatnot, that's a reflection of yourself there. So he was right. And I was like, okay, so, because, you know, I had moments where, you know, I would think about things that hurt me in the past, and then I would just be so angry. So I learned to just love, send love to her and love that part of myself. So these demons, they're like talking to me. They're like, oh, we're just like, well, they weren't talking to me, but Source was actually like giving me information of what they thought they had. Like, they thought they were like on their A game. They thought they had Source by the balls. Getting Source was like showing me and telling me like, okay, so they think that just because they're outside of my universal design that they have control and they can affect everybody that I love, like all of us, me and you, and we are Source, obviously, and and affect us and keep us from our hearts and higher self, and you know, embodying our higher self, and get away from the lessons. But we still learn from these things. So it's like as above so below. So it's like, and like at first Source was showing me in a vision, like as in they surrounding him, and he's as a child like scared, whatnot, like, oh, like demons have me. And but Source is like, but that's what they think. But it's like, regardless, I'm still almighty, and you guys are still gonna learn and grow. Regardless if they have you, they're still gonna learn. Like if someone, like, we're an addict, and don't get me wrong, but so someone was like an addict, and unfortunately like some people pass from that, and if they lose that battle for the demons, but those loved ones still learn and then end up helping other people who dealt with addictions. So the demons think they had the last laugh, but God said the last laugh, because people are still gonna learn and grow. And now you see how there's these rehabilitations and stuff like that, and people learning and how to beat addictions, and then those who beat their addiction help others battle in it. So God still wins. So the demons are like, whoa, crap. So now, this does not mean demons like goetic demons. Total difference, because goetic demons are divine. Rather you want to accept that or not, rather you study the left-hand path or walk it or not, they are still part of the divine. And through my experience of fasting, Asmodeus told me himself that they are still divine. They are divine. So, and they are correspondence to the Shrooms angels. So, so they're all working together along with God, rather you want to accept that or not. So, but you know, that's all I want to like say. Like the rest, you guys already know, because you know, blogs, everything, read it, everything that you learn, spirituality, it's all there. All that was coming to me. It was like, you know, I already know these things to study it and experience it, whatever. But God still wanted me to experience it on a different level, instead of just reading about it and experience it with the ego death, and went through my Kundalini awakening when I was like 15 and all this other stuff, and reading books. But also wanted me to even experience it on a different level and another perspective through shrooms. So I think Marbaz and Source Self and everything, like I'm grateful for your experience, and I'm grateful for my friend who sold them to me and told me that she had some. So thank you. You know who you are, and I appreciate you. And if you're gonna take them, at least have the time to take it, and at least on a Friday or Saturday. So in case you're working on next day, like a Sunday per se, don't take it on Sunday then, because you might be up all night. So and don't have an empty stomach, and drink a lot of water, and just be responsible and cautious. And so yeah, bless you guys. I love you. Have a great time, have a great day, stay healthy. Keep being grateful every day, and just keep counting your blessings, and pray for others. Stay healthy and awesome. Love you.